Welcome to today's Explainer. We are jumping right in because what we're talking about today is just wild. We're looking at a massive, looming environmental crisis in India, but get this, it's secretly hiding an unbelievable economic opportunity. We are literally talking about turning a mountain of trash into a mountain of cash.
Okay, get a load of this number. 1,71,000. That is the staggering number of tons of municipal solid waste that India produces every single day. Just try to picture that. Every 24 hours, we're basically building a new, small mountain of garbage across our cities.
But here is the twist. According to a fascinating new report by the Council on Energy, Environment, and Water, or CEWW, what if that massive daily garbage dump is actually a gold mine? Seriously. The crucial point here is that this waste could unlock a staggering $51 billion market opportunity by the year 2047. Yep, 51 billion with a B. So how is that even mathematically possible? Well, it all comes down to what's actually in the trash. Exactly half of that daily municipal waste is organic. Kitchen scraps, leftover meat, wilted flowers, the wet, rotting biomass that we usually plug our noses and try to avoid.
But right now, we have a pretty grim baseline reality to deal with. Today, only about 61% of all municipal waste is actually treated. The rest of it, nearly 40%, is left completely unmanaged. It ends up overflowing in landfills, forming illegal dump sites, clogging up city drains, or worse, getting openly burned. It's a massive urban sanitation problem right now.
And doing nothing, the environmental toll is just severe. Between 1994 and 2020, emissions from India's waste sector shot up by an unbelievable 226%. When all that unmanaged organic waste just sits there, it burps out methane, which is a greenhouse gas way more potent than carbon dioxide in the short term. Plus, the open burning of this waste contributes to nearly 10% of all PM 2.5 pollution in Indian cities.
Section 1. The Tale of Two Futures, 2047.
All right, let's fast forward a bit to 2047, the centenary of India's independence. By then, the CEW projects that urban organic waste alone could touch 208 million tons every single year. So we're basically forced to choose between two drastically different paths for our cities. In a business-as-usual scenario, if we just continue with slow, sluggish improvements, waste sector emissions could rocket up to nearly 120 million tons of carbon dioxide equivalent, a total disaster. But check out the accelerated policy scenario. If we fully collect and process 95% of this organic waste, we don't just stop the bleeding. We actually create a net emissions reduction of 68 million tons. It literally flips the script entirely from a pollution burden to a major climate solution. Which perfectly brings us to this brilliant perspective shift from Parthana Bora, a fellow at CEW. She says, waste management is clean air infrastructure. I really want you to let that sink in for a second. Managing waste isn't merely a basic sanitation issue. It is vital, life-saving infrastructure to combat year-round pollution. It's not just about stopping winter smog, it's about the air you and I breathe every single day.
Section 2. The Mechanics of the Miracle.
Okay, so how do we actually pull this off? How do we physically take rotting food and spin it into billions of dollars, clean energy, and jobs? Well, right now, we have a massive processing imbalance. A whopping 96% of India's organic waste treatment capacity is dedicated to composting. Now, composting is great, don't get me wrong, but the real, untapped magic, the true economic and energy engine, lies in expanding that tiny 4% slice, biomethanation.
I know, biomethanation sounds like a clunky scientific term, but what is it exactly? Basically, it's a process that converts organic waste into biogas and biomethane. When you purify and compress that biomethane, boom, you get bio-CNG. That is a clean transport fuel that can literally replace fossil fuels in our vehicles. So the bottom line is that the garbage sitting in your bin right now can directly support the country's net zero ambitions and boost our energy security.
And there is a massive human element behind all this science, too. Processing trash doesn't just happen by magic, it takes people. A typical 100-ton-per-day biomethanation plant needs about 31 workers. We're talking technicians, operators, chemists, and logistics staff. A composting plant of the exact same scale needs about 28. So this isn't just about waste, it's about building a whole new industry of green jobs right at the plant level.
Now, if we scaled it up, the macroeconomic leap is just absolutely staggering. Today, this sector directly employs around 4 lakh people. But remember that accelerated policy scenario we discussed earlier? Under that path, we are looking at the birth of a massive new green workforce, jumping to an incredible 26 lakh direct jobs by 2047.
And that workforce will span everything from basic collection and maintenance all the way up to high-tech energy generation.
Section 3. Fixing a broken system.
All right, time for a little reality check. We actually already have a surprisingly large policy ecosystem, with 16 different ministries and government bodies involved in waste management through various schemes. So, with all this incredible potential and government backing, why aren't we doing this everywhere right now? Well, the CEEW report outlines a specific, actionable roadmap of 5 interventions needed to blast through our municipal roadblocks. We need to improve source segregation, update our waste data, expand workforce training, and develop reliable markets for compost and bio-CNG. But here's the kicker. We really have to shift our municipal contracts. Right now, contractors are often rewarded based on the sheer quantity of waste they lift rather than the quality of the segregation or recovery. Because of that, mixed waste just keeps flowing straight into dump sites. We absolutely need performance-based contracts to fix this.
Fortunately, there is some serious policy momentum building up right now. The new Solid Waste Management Rules of 2026 are mandating segregation right at the source. This is huge. It means bulk generators, like big hotels, busy markets, restaurants, and large housing societies, are now required to process their wet waste locally. This creates these amazing hyper-local waste processing systems, rather than just relying on one massive, distant, overflowing city dump.
Of course, to actually build all this infrastructure, the sector needs money, about $24 billion in investments to aggressively scale up. The report recommends some highly innovative financial tools to attract both global and domestic capital. We are talking about issuing green bonds, utilizing hybrid annuity models, and forging much stronger public-private partnerships. The money is definitely out there. We just need the right vehicles to steer it into the waste sector.
Which leaves us with this final, incredibly impactful question to chew on. As our urban populations absolutely explode over the next 2 decades, will our cities be buried in waste or powered by it? The $51 billion blueprint is sitting right here. We just have to choose to build it. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer today. I really hope this sparked some curiosity, and I will catch you next time.